because there's so many cars. It's like the traffic is big. But actually, even though there's so much more traffic here, I like driving here more than I did in Finland, because here the law is different. Because here you can take a right on the red light. I love that. In Finland that's illegal, so I feel like a criminal. I'm just always taking rights way more than I should. If the light is red, I'm gonna take a right. I basically go in circles when I love it so much. But driving here is kind of great, but actually it's walking is not, because LA is built for cars, not for pedestrians. And even the lights, you can notice this, because in the traffic lights, if you're driving, green means go and red means stop. And that's universal, that's everywhere. But here in LA, if you're walking, the stop is the hand, and that's red. But then the light, the other light is it's the guy, this guy. This. But is he green? He's not green. It's just white. It's just white, no color. So it doesn't say go. It just says like. Maybe it's like just. It's kind of saying like you can go, but we don't recommend it. Like we are not saying don't go. So you can go, but it's not safe. Just somebody might be taking a ride, so it's. I think you should buy a car.
A lot of people know this about me, and I'm not sure if you guys know. I'm not financially stable, mentally stable either, but I'm adorable, so I can get away with it. But I did something pretty crazy a couple months ago. I traded in a perfectly good moving vehicle that got me from here to there for a Vespa. Okay, so hang tight, story gets worse. You'd say, hey, JC, how long does it take to get one side of town to another in a car? I'd say about 30 minutes. What about on a Vespa? 4.5 days. Nobody told me that. That wasn't in the manual. Somebody owes me an apology. For sure and forever. Why would you keep it? Well, let me tell you something. On Vespa, I was saving so much money on gas, zipping around town, 37 miles to the gallon. Woo! 37 miles to the gallon. Just a heads up in case you're buying, a Vespa has 1 fucking gallon. So if you need me, I'll be at a gas station for the remainder of my life. And have you ever thought to yourself on a Vespa, am I an attractive person? Am I good looking? Will I settle down with an attractive human being? Allow the homeless people at red lights to reaffirm that for you. Because when you're in a car, the safety of your car, you may be like, oh, screw you, guy. Lock, air conditioning, dance. Because that's how we all drive. When you're on a Vespa and you pull right up to a red light and a homeless man goes, hey, sweet tits, can I get on? And he fucking could. At any moment, he can overpower my body and just go, take me to the farmer's market. I need kale, arugula, heirloom tomatoes, the purple kind. I'm making a salad. It's crazy out there. I made him much healthier than he normally is.
A lot of my friends are getting married now and having kids. Not me, I'm going the fuckboy route. Yeah, no, it's terrible. I don't like the way my generation raises kids. They're just fucking terrible. Have you seen kids now? They're fucking the worst human beings ever made. Just terrible, oh my God. Can't say anything to them. For some reason they need a safe space. Did we need a safe space growing up? No. We're doing fine? Yeah? Yeah, everyone's dying from opioids. You could fucking die going to a fucking movie theater, but we're doing fine. If I went up to my mom who grew up in Iraq under Saddam Hussein, if I went up to that woman, I was like, hey mom, I need a safe space for my thoughts. She'd be like, Faisal, I agree. That is why we bring you to America. Yeah, don't worry, it's all safe. You want that safe? I take you back to Baghdad. Sometimes you go to school, sometimes you not come back. So you don't believe me? Ask one of your 3 uncles. I was like, I have 2 uncles. She's like, now? No. I really can't stand kids. They're so weird. Like, sir, before you became a fuckboy, you remember you used to play video games? Yeah, they don't do that shit. They don't play video games. They go on YouTube and watch other people play video games. And I think that one's our fault. I think that's our fault. I think we fucked up a whole generation of little brothers who never got the controller. Hey, when's my turn? Never, bitch. You give him that controller that's not plugged in anything? Play it, yeah. Some of my friends are teachers. They say they can't talk to the kids the way your teacher talked to you. You remember your teacher used to bully you, like a little bit? Not a lot, just a little bit so you act right. Like, let's say you're passing notes in class, and teacher take your note away. Hey, Jennifer, you want to go to prom with this idiot? No? Pay attention, dumbass. Or how about this one? Your teacher used to make you stand up and read in front of the class, regardless of your ability to read. And she always called that fucking kid Stuttering Sammy. Remember that kid? It's like that one kid that always fucked up. And we're like, why she always calling him? Does she hate him or something? It's like, hey, Sam, just read the first 3 paragraphs. And he's there like, gonna choke back tears. She's like, go ahead, Sam, just read the first 3 paragraphs. He's like, and there's always that one kid in the back who's like, it's consolation, retard! The teacher getting mad at him? Or at the guy yelling, like, hey, you stop that. You wanna go to the principal's office? All right, Sammy, continue. He's like, why? By the way, if you're not laughing, you were that fucking kid, you fucking retard. By the way, I never let that shit happen to me. You know why? Because I cheated. I counted how many people were fucking sitting in front of me, how many paragraphs there were. I skipped ahead and started memorizing what I was gonna read. I was like, okay, there's 4 people in front of me, there's 3 paragraphs, fuck this shit, I'm not gonna sound like that kid. Sorry. I even used to throw off a word on purpose so it didn't seem like I read ahead. I was like, it became apparent after the 1970s there was an inadequacy in pay between the genders. That facial kid's pretty smart. He's pretty smart.
I mean, I like hanging out with my friends sometimes, but sometimes, you have old friends that you grew up with that you just shouldn't hang out with anymore. Pookie's the same guy who tells me, man, you'd never make it in jail. Thank God that's not a goal of mine. It's not on my to-do list. Toilet paper, get locked up. I'd never want to go to jail, man. I'll be the first to. No, never. And I'm gonna be honest, rape would be a concern. I just don't know if I'm strong enough to rape anybody. Thank you, sir. You like that one, huh? This black guy's fantastic. I'm gonna have to send out an email. This is awesome. Some people you shouldn't hang around with. And and we all have these friends. You know when you're hanging around with somebody you shouldn't hang around with when they use this phrase. Here's a phrase where you could use this and go, I can't hang around with this guy anymore. And the phrase is, if you ever hang out with somebody, he goes, hey man, you only live once. That is always followed by a bad decision. She always says that. You be at a club like, oh man, I am so loaded. One more shot of tequila. No, I can't, man. Come on, you only live once. Shouldn't that be a warning and not a challenge? She'd be like, man, I'm gonna have sex without a condom. Hey man, you only live once.
I did. I moved recently from Illinois all the way out here to California, and I think that you would be hard-pressed to find anybody who's done something that brave. But I did. I'm here. And when I lived in Chicago, I used to ride my bike everywhere. And so when I moved here to LA, I thought, hey, I can ride my bike here, until I realized that you guys hate that. You hate it. One Mexican gentleman loved it. I was riding my bike. He pulled up next to me in his van, and he was like, hey, do you want to ride? And I was like, all right. So I put my bike in his van. I was very late to where I was going. Should have just kept riding. I would even ride through the winters in Chicago, and it would be very freezing, and I would have to bundle up real tight. One day I was bundled I pulled up to a stop sign. Some old man must have been waiting for the bus because he leaned over to me and he goes, "Excuse me, sir, is the bus coming?" And I was like, "I'm a girl." And then I rode away. So the rest of that winter, I was just wearing my bra on the outside of my coat. And making sure that my dick was tucked up in my pants. It's just a safety thing. Could get caught in my chain. So when it's warmer out, I can wear less clothing. My sex is more apparent. I look a lot less like Ghost Dad. And I was biking around, pulled right on up to a stop sign that's for transportation works, and it was another Mexican gentleman. I don't know what it is that they like about me, but I pulled up, and he took one step closer to me on my bike in the curb, and he goes, "Sex." And I go, "No." Really more of a song that we created together. It's hard to ride away from somebody when you collaborate like that.
I've been in hotel rooms now for like 3 weeks straight. Just in random ass hotel rooms doing dumb stuff. I bought a cantaloupe. Y'all don't even see it. You know how big of a dumbass you feel like when you buy a cantaloupe, get back to the room and don't have shit to cut it open with? Now I can't even reheat my Chinese food in the microwave because of the metal wire at the top. I want to put it in the microwave, but we still don't know what happens. And I can't risk it because I don't want to be the reason we create a new warning sign. Because we all know every warning sign started with one dumbass. That's why you can no longer dive in the shallow end. One day, some dude went for it. It's like, I'm gonna dive here where it's safe, where the water comes to my knees. Even in the lobby, you guys seen the vending machine? You seen the warning sticker on the vending machine? It shows a guy with the machine like this. Because I guess the machine collapsed and murdered his ass. I wish I could have met that dude. To see how bad he needed that granola bar. He must have snapped that day, like, ah! Then the machine was like, man, forget this shit. I would hate to get that eulogy. We are gathered here today to find out what a man did for a Klondike bar. That's my biggest fear. Dying hilarious. I don't want the funny part to be why I died. This poor guy, they're giving a sermon, they're like, well, how'd he die? Well, you know he loves snacks, right? Sometimes they don't even put up the warning sign. They make the decision for you. That's why hotel windows don't open. They open this much because they don't want you to commit suicide. I get it. I get it. I get why the window on the 10th floor doesn't open, but how come the window on the 1st floor don't open? That jump won't hurt. Hell, after that, you might regain the will to live.